Perhaps you don't need to be a scientist to understand science. Welcome to Cranium versus Skull. Why smells can evoke memories, making the most of moths and pheromones, and why science doesn't have all the answers, but just all the questions.
Okay, nice to meet you, Erwan. Yes,
Bruce.
I'm Bruce. Good. So here we are.
Exploding out of your cranium like Athena, Erwan Poivet, neurobiologist.
And a skull like we've never seen before from Bruce Sherfield, writer.
Are you older than me or younger than me? Because you
I
said
don't know your age.
2004.
I'm 33.
33? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How old are you?
41. Just turned 41. Happy birthday.
There is cake, actually, if you...
Good. What is this cake going to do to my biology?
What's this cake? Probably make you feel happy because, you know, every time you get sugar, you release the hormones of happiness.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good. Serotonin and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay serious.
I'm very serious about your cake.
Serious.
Too late.
You are getting hungry.
Nibbler by night, neurologist by day.
So I start working actually on insect olfaction, which is my specialty.
So that's the ability for insects to smell,
To
or why they
smell.
use smell, or what they do
Ability
to
for
smell?
insect to smell. Yeah,
Yes.
and in particular, I was specialized on the caterpillars, so the larval stage
Right.
of moths,
Right.
which at this time nobody was working on.
Okay.
And we discovered that the sex pheromone was actually attractive for the caterpillar.
Okay. Good. So olfactory, one of my
Olfactory.
favorite subjects. Yes, it is. That's what I.
Because you take the subway, right?
I actually love. My son always says, "I love the smell of the metro."
Which one?
Paris. He said,
All of
I love
them?
it.
No difference
I
between
mean, he
them?
doesn't take the metro that much.
Sizzling in your skull.
I'm a writer, so I write a lot about smell and memory and how it triggers memory.
And so you travel a lot between cities. You said you were in Brussels just before we started the interview. Did you notice any difference in smell?
Oh, absolutely. Every city has a smell, and I grew up in the army. So my father was in the army. So
you moved.
my entire life.
Okay.
So I've been to hundreds of cities. So smell is the first thing that marks the city. Like Seoul, South Korea, smells like fermentation and pickles.
For he said he had smelled, but he had not smelled.
And it comes off of the bodies like kimchi, which I'm making my first kimchi in my life this week. I'm really into fermentation. Do you like smell?
I think I have to, right, because of my line of work. So, but that actually struck me too when I moved to New York for my postdoc.
Oh, you went to New York, okay.
The first impression you have about the city is that stink a lot.
New York really stinks.
Yeah, especially during summer.
It really stinks.
But Paris too, actually, when you just come back, it's terrible.
So, now what?
And now what? So after this PhD in olfaction on insects and on caterpillars, so I was kind of interested in the fact that the same odorant signal can signify two different things depending who receives it.
Right.
If it's the adult, it means sex and so
Right.
reproduction, and for the larvae, the baby, it's food. Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder how actually the same signal can carry different information. So I get into odorant signal itself. What's a smell?
Skull.
I do believe it is the base signal of a human's interaction, or let's say an animal's interaction with the world. The smell is one of the first lines of defense and the first. Can I use a large word? Is that okay, everybody?
Oh, he's pulling out the big words.
Codifier.
No zipper.
Just flopped it right out there.
Codifier of the environment around them. So especially when something is dead or dead or it's putrefying. Of course, this smell is easy. The smell of flowers for the smell of flowers for bees. I think smell is a very, very concrete way to establish a relationship with the world. More than hearing, and even more than especially more than vision. And that's why I think it always goes back to the memory signal, because it's how you survive as a baby, because it really brings you back to smell. That I know, the smell brings you back more than anything to your childhood.
If I give you a glass of wine, your impression you will have will probably be different to the impression I have.
Right.
Because we don't have the same receptors.
That's
First, only a third of our receptors are the same. The rest is up to you and up to me. To go back to the idea of what is a smell, if the smell of coffee is made of more than 1,000 molecules in it, and we have absolutely no clue of which one are important or which one are not. Are they all important? If I remove this one and this one, would that change the smell of your coffee or not? And so the question I asked as a researcher in New York was, okay, about these molecules, maybe they're not all important, maybe they are, but how different must they be to be discriminated? And so the idea was, is that actually the molecule itself that counts, or is it only part of the molecule? And so that was my work for 4 years. And now I'm back in France and I try to go back to the world of insect olfaction. And to do so, I'm currently working on aging, actually, on the flies.
Aging on flies.
Yeah. When flies are gonna die, they have a special phenotype. Phenotype, it's okay?
Phenotype, yes.
Phenotype in English.
Yeah.
So they have an increase or an appearance of gut permeability.
Okay.
And so it had actually a blue coloration on the food.
Yeah.
And normally the blue coloration do not go into the fly, it just go away.
Okay.
And when they have this permeability, the coloration, the dye can go inside the flies.
Permeate them, yeah.
So the fly
Turn
blue.
Turn blue, yeah. Leaky gut blue, yes.
And in the 5 days following that,
Yeah.
she will die. She has up to 5 days to live.
Okay.
And that's it. And so you use that as a marker of death,
Yeah.
or imminent death. And so the idea was, okay, we have a set of genes that are mostly expressed in these blue flies, than in others, and we compare them and we try to inactivate these genes to see if by inactivating these genes we will increase
Their
the
lifespan?
Yes, of the fly.
Right.
It works also.
Good, good. That might win a prize or two.
For him, yes, probably. For me, no. But
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot believe what I'm hearing.
Is that crumbs from that biscuit you nibbled, or are our minds crushed and crumbled into scatters?
Yeah, what's one of the most interesting posits that you've heard in the last couple of years? Question, scientific question, answered or not answered?
Drinking more than 4 cups of coffee a day will avoid you death, or at least reduce strongly your chance of dying, no matter what is the cause of dying. And actually, that's pretty interesting. Why should we drink coffee to survive? So they just made a correlation actually between calculating actually between these peoples. They were followed for 40 years, something like that. Like how many are still alive and those who died, and what's the common point among those who survive? And they drink a lot of coffee.
I don't want to say it's unethical, but it poses a question of...
So it's not unethical to say there is a correlation, because there is a correlation.
Right.
But nonetheless, there is no causality. So it's not because you drink a lot of coffee that you will not die.
Yeah.
And we don't know why, actually. Maybe it's just because you spend too much time at the coffee machine, so you don't take risks because you're not walking, you're just enjoying coffee. Or you just drink coffee and not beer on the bar, so you don't get drunk when you take your car. You see, could be a lot of explanation, and they don't go that far.
Do they have these explanations?
They don't.
Do they have the?
No, they don't. They don't.
See, this is my point. Yeah. This is my public.
That would be actually
my public service announcement.
Looks like the cranium is getting too big for the skull.
Ooh.
You need to be very cautious about the word you use and the sentence you say, because people will just be, I see that, and scientists say that, so that's true. And the thing is, nothing of what a scientist can claim is true.
I want there to be a scientific study, or somebody to study the idea. I don't know what they call it in French. Maybe it's called téléphone arabe, right? Which is okay. All right, that's what it's called, but I don't call it that.
What's the word in English? There is any expression?
Nia, I'm asking you. What do you call it in the UK over there?
Chinese whispers.
Chinese whispers.
See? Okay. Chinese whispers, telephone arabe. Okay. Where I'm from, it was called purple hockey sticks.
My God, someone needs to veer left.
The skull is shrinking in on the cranium here.
Along the way.
How we edit how a human being to another human being through language or through intimacy or through whatever, how they change the language. By memory, of course. Memory, we're not robots, you know. That's my project for the new year.
Cranium Skull.
And what would happen if you gave the blue flies of death coffee? Could you explain that?
Could you remove? Can you make them life
If you gave them 4 drops of coffee per day, would they actually live longer, or they would die and be reincarnated as something else?
Silence.
And Gina Davis says, "You're getting worse." He said, "No, I'm getting better."
It's not a man out there.
So as I was saying, we are not producing truth. Everything
That's right.
I mean, I'm a scientist. I discover things, I publish them, and I produce scientific work.
Right.
And nothing in this scientific work is true and is like a right and truth that will never change. It's just the best way I can explain the thing I see with my knowledge. And science is not something that is written in stone and will not change. You actually always put your knowledge into question and check if it's right. And so you cannot actually, you're not here to produce truth.
And then the context, which is
And
life,
things can
changes
change.
it. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
changes through the context. That's what I find the most
And
fascinating.
it's actually pretty interesting to see that fake idea or wrong ideas were working for a long time with success, because not in a bad way, but with real success, because they were explaining things very well. If you do chemistry,
Right.
and you just draw your molecules, I don't know if you know, but you have this way of representing molecules with just,
Yeah.
and everything about this representation is wrong. But nonetheless, if you want to synthesize your molecule or you want to extract it, it works very well for you to understand the process and find what you need.
Yeah.
It's wrong, but it works. So the model is wrong, but nonetheless, you have the answer you need. So that's how science works.
It's like creating a. See, I like that because it creates a language.
That's a big problem for us, because as scientists, we are asked by the society to answer their question,
Yeah.
which are not our work. We ask questions, we don't really necessarily answer to them. And so you can hide behind a scientist or an expert in something to say, hey, this is the way it is and that's it. And that's absolutely wrong. And people, I guess, can take it bad or can lose the trust in science. Failure actually is a big way of increasing science. We don't see it as a common way to approach science, but most of the time I do an experiment and it fails. Because I did something wrong.
I live my life like this. It's called negative feedback.
Yeah.
I know that's what it's called. It's called negative
good.
feedback. Yeah.
And you
of
do
course.
it until you change a thing and you to change a thing. And sometimes you don't change anything and suddenly you work. And no, your work is, okay, what did I change that I didn't know I changed?
Yeah, how did I arrive here? Yeah, okay.
So when you say to people, well, actually, 70, I'm bullshitting the numbers, but 70% of what is produced by scientists is wrong. Well, that's still pretty good, actually. If you look at the animal world, for example, if you look at the top predators, lions, sharks, 75% of the time, they fail to take their prey.
That is what most...
So you have to be good with failure, and people have to be aware that scientists are actually failing all the time until they find something.
Blah, blah, blah.
I feel like I'm in a Buddhist temple because I have no idea what's being said and I'm falling asleep.
What do you think about chiropractic?
My brother has a lot of back problems. I go to a chiropractor. Personally, I will not go because I don't trust these guys. I'm sorry, I'm a scientist, and
Right now, I'm fighting with some of my friends, and because they have to go. He's got a problem. He's got a problem. Okay, the pain got so bad. All right, he went to the chiropractor. Yeah, 1 week later, he came back. He lost all his carpal tunnel syndrome.
Probably the guy knows his stuff and is doing well. The problem is, I'm not sure they all do, because there is no official training to become like that. And I'm not sure the doctor, the medical doctor, cannot do the same, actually. The thing is, the doctor is probably not having the time or the envy to actually ask the good question or check at the good thing to find the solution. Okay, you're in pain. This is
I agree with that. For me, it's a double.
Come back in a week, give me another check, and you go again.
Well, in allopathy, I don't know if you know that word. Allopathy is allopathic medicine is, you have a problem with your kidney, I'm going to check your kidney, okay? You have a problem with your lungs, I'm going to check your lungs, right? You have a problem with your brain, I'm a brain doctor, so I'm going to check your brain. But I'm not going to ask you the questions of, what did you do in your entire life to get there? And I agree with you. I completely agree. They don't go, well, I'm from America, in the UK too, the two shittiest diets in the world. They never say, hey, yeah, what are you eating? So 90% of doctors, or even more, do not learn nutrition. That's a fact.
I think somebody's sponsored by the McDonald's Corporation.
You know, I heard that McDonald's is getting into spaceships now.
Oh, really? McSpace travel.
Elon joined the board of McDonald's. That's why the coffee got worse.
Oh, Elon McMusk, sure.
Elon McMusk. You know they've got a new McMuskin coming out.
Really? What
Yeah,
did
the new McMuskin.
To go back to the scientific, so the way to solve the problem about, okay, people don't believe in it or believe in it.
Right.
And as a scientist, the way we'll approach the question to see, okay, let's be sure about the way to do it will be to take people who have the same problem, like, oh, I cannot move my back, or treat them with a chiropractor, treat them with a naturopath, not treat them at all, or treat them with regular medicine that we have.
All right.
And see what happens. How many are cured?
Yeah.
What are the improvements for those people? And compare them, benefits and not.
Yeah. Why are you interested in the ability for insects or the capability of insects to smell? Why?
So most of the insect I was studying actually were crop pests. So they do destruction of crops.
Yeah.
And so the way they find their plants, the way they reproduce,
Right.
it's through olfaction. So if you understand how they smell and how they find their food, you can maybe trick them to lure them away from the crop. You can be very specific on the bugs you want to destroy. So you can remove, for example, one pest of your crop and not the others that are actually good for your crops.
Yes.
And so you can produce more. So that could be a nice way to answer this question, especially if I want money. Another way, more deep, would be we actually don't know anything about smell, or very few things compared to what we know about vision or audition.
Absolutely.
Like, for olfaction, we don't know what's the primary unit. When I asked you earlier what is a smell, you give an answer was absolutely correct. But is it? So actually, an odor that you smell is made of what I said, hundreds or thousands of different molecules.
Yes.
We don't know if it's each molecule that is important, all together, some of them only, or even worse, some part of these molecules and not the rest.
Right.
So we have no idea on how it works.
So
where is olfaction actually taking place?
Why
in
is
the nose, in the brain? That's still an open question.
Well, in the humans, in humans, olfaction is the only sense that's connected to the limbic system. So that's what I mean by it brings you back to the memories because your limbic system.
Well, that's actually because it's not so far from your memory area, so that you have a direct.
But why?
And it's also the shortest sensory. Shortest sense. You have only one relay before the brain. So your olfactory receptor to the olfactory bulb, and then to the brain. While you have several others for all the other sense. And so it's a very direct and striking sense. And and I'm pretty sure as a guy working in olfaction, there is plenty of interaction between individuals that are actually ruled by your olfaction, and we just don't know that because that's not something you think of. You will think of your eyes because you rely a lot of them. You will think on your ears because you also rely a lot of them. Right. Why can you be attracted by a woman in the street and not by your sister? Probably because of olfaction. Or why sometimes you get attracted when you look at someone, and when you come closer to it, to him or to her, you just, oh, sorry, I can't. No, there's something wrong. And probably the smell also.
Double homework for everybody.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If I remember well, you said you're a writer. What's your book about?
Well,
especially the science part, please.
Well,
or the fiction part, if you prefer.
No, neither one. I usually say the same answer. I say, well, look, I've combined my first three loves: poetry, comic books, and Brussels, Belgium, baby. When you've lived in Paris for 10 years and you go to Brussels, you're like, this is like Paris, except everybody's
nice.
Everybody's fucking smiling. I'm not interested in the superheroes. I'm interested in the people who are the witnesses, the témoins to the superheroes. It's like Sherlock Holmes. The books are from the point of view of Watson. They're not from the point of view of Sherlock Holmes. And this is really interesting to me.
To give us a teaser, was there just the opening?
In a post-cataclysmic Brussels, a dyslexic woman pushes a superhuman soldier to his limit, vowing to immortalize him in a poem.
the way you speak about your creation and
Yeah,
your
yeah.
inspiration,
Yeah.
it's very similar to what happened in science. You go
Yeah.
into something until
Yeah.
you get drawn into it,
Yeah.
and just okay, I quit, I can't. Decide to focus on something else.
That's right.
And usually that's when
That's
you
right.
do that,
Yeah.
that finally somewhere in your brain you get your
Aha moment.
you should have
Yes.
done that to your first question, and then you find the
That's
solution.
exactly what happened. Exactly.
So scientists, like artists, I guess, work in a similar way,
Sure.
in the way of creation, and it's actually, how do you find inspiration to find new question or new thematics?
Yeah.
And how do you solve them?
yeah, I'm really
And usually by letting go.
I'm really letting go, and I always use the word respect, not like respect me, but like respecting the magic system. He respects the magic system. He's probably one of the kings of the magic system, right? They don't respect their own magic system. You know, they kind of jump in and out of their own magic system. I will take more time to respect my magic system. Nobody gives a shit about the magic system.
Join us next time for another episode of Cranium.
Skull!
I'm Skull.
I think I'm supposed to be a cranium, that's it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever that means.
Oh! The tyranny!
I'm pretty sure you love jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Just the smell of jasmine.
I was actually looking for it the other day because I do essential oils.